Welcome to Season 5 of the Youth Academy series. Welcome to the Premier League here in England. In real life, Barrow have never finished higher than 8th in what is now League 2 back in the 60s. This is momentous for this football club. It's momentous for us. It's been a hell of a journey. We've had a very fortunate rise through the league since Season 2, and we're hoping to make an impact at least at Premier League level. The squad at the beginning of this season, or the starting 11 at least, looks as it did at the end of last season. A little bit of growth for a couple of players. Hefte up to 79, Lazovic up to 75, Vermolen up to 74. Hoping for more growth as the season progresses, of course, from the majority of players. Some have seen their growth stunt a little. As such, we're looking to replace some players if we can. The youth players that were in the Youth Academy, I have now called up and loan listed. So we actually have 35 players in the first team squad right now. A handful have potential to be special, including a couple that we're going to send out on loan this year, provided we can get bids for them. So I've sent my youth scouts out looking for more talent. We're still waiting for Menezes to turn 16. He's currently 67 rated at 15 years of age, looking like a very capable goalkeeper indeed already. Not necessarily Premier League standard, but bottom half of the Championship, he'd be a decent goalkeeper and certainly good enough for a backup, you'd like to think. We do have a couple of players transfer listed. Those being DaCosta, Campbell, Hope, Messina, Tyler, Jesus, Mercado, Palmieri are on the loan list. Gardner is on the transfer list. Vukoya, Afrifa also on the loan list, with Chisholm on the transfer list and Kovacic on the loan list. He has potential to be special, 87 to 94 potential for him. Also potential to be special for young Mercado, the centre-back from Brazil. Not quite good enough to even make it into our reserve side at the moment, but hopefully with a year or two out on loan can really make an impact in the not too distant future. We have a decent whack of money actually available to us at the beginning of this season. Nearly £50 million is available in our transfer budget, a transfer budget that we're going to look to be spending this season. I've got some more youth players that I'm out getting scout reports on. We've got obviously players we've shown a keen interest in previously. David Alvarez-Goni is potentially a centre-back option we could look to utilise and then move on one of the other players that we have at the club. But those potential to be special players, I'm going to keep in the club moving forward until they either don't show the growth or we've completely outgrown them. I'm not sure about Juranovic. This guy, Brian Pereira Figueiredo, I think would be a very capable striker. So I'm genuinely thinking about trying to buy him. And with regards to midfield, Mulholland is £42 million, which is almost all of my budget. But maybe we could get the deal done to bring him back to the club. We do have the potential to bring some extra finances in with this pre-season tournament. Transfer budget increase, of course. And here is the final scout report on Brendan Mulholland. 82 rated now at Sheffield United. But, of course, they got relegated last season. So they aren't challenging in the top flight anymore. It would be a very straightforward move, you'd like to think. The obvious move would be to bring our former youth player back to the club. Can we afford to do that and everything else we want to do? Maybe not. I'm not sure. We shall have to wait and see. Hopefully we can get loan deals for almost all of those youngsters. We can raise up to another £10 million from this pre-season tournament should we win it. I don't know if the squad are good enough to win it, but Pumphrey has given us a 1-0 lead and win against Sampdoria. Game that we absolutely dominated. And obviously we're looking to sell a couple of those fringe players as well. Players that just aren't going to have any part to play in the remainder of the growth of this club. We're top of the group stage after one game. If we can get at least a point from this against Frankfurt, I believe we'd be through. McMullen gives us a goal as well as Costa. We've got a 2-0 win there. We actually might be in for some money here from this pre-season tournament. A transfer bid for Lucas Costa, which we will reject from Hoffenheim. £17.6 million. No, thank you. He stays. Brendan Mulholland, I am very close to pulling the trigger on, but I will wait for your feedback to hear from you before I do. Quick sim against Lyon. They won Ligue 1 last season. And they proved just how good a side they are by beating us by 3-0. They beat PSG to the title by just a point, I believe it was, in yesterday's post-season roundup. We railed Betis to start things off in the knockout stages of this tournament. Chisholm has completed his development schedule. I don't care about his development schedule. I want people to actually try and buy him, please, if that's okay. In the wide roles, we're pretty comfortable with what we've got. Hefte is 79 rated. Bilson is 80. Ball's 85. And Mason at 74 is good enough for the level that we're at right now, having just gotten promoted from the Championship into the Premier League. So I don't think we'll be changing much there whatsoever in the wide roles. I was just curious to see if anyone was decent enough to maybe be moved into a central area. But it doesn't seem like we've found that person so far. Have we found ourselves into the next round of the final of the pre-season tournament? We don't. Thanks to a penalty defeat. 5-4. Hefte missed the pen. Diaz gave them the equaliser after Manu Garcia gave them the lead. Tudor and Salem with 2 goals in 2 minutes at the end of the first half that very nearly won us the game. Unfortunately, in the 72nd minute, they pulled it back and then won on pens. But there'll still be a decent bit of money into the bank for getting to that round. Another 2.7 million, which will come in very handy indeed when looking to try and pick up other players. We will advance as far as and probably play Crystal Palace today, so as we can get some first team action in and allow enough time to pass to try and get those transfer deals done. I am really, really keen on bringing in Pereira Figueiredo. I'm changing him to striker, and I am really keen on bringing Brendan Mulholland back to the club as well. We're not going to sign you. Still waiting for the scout report back on Watanabe. Not sure about him and Luis Montellano. Also, not looking like he's going to be too spectacular. Still thinking about going for Sasha Varling, though. You guys will have to continually let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section. He doesn't look like he's going to sign for anyone at this stage. And they do look like they value Mulholland quite highly. Sheffield United, 52 to 73 million is what my chief executive reckons I'd have to pay to get him out of a Sheffield United shirt and back into a Barrow one. So we might have to wait and save our money for a season and hope that we can survive in the Premier League, stay up, and raise the extra funds to bring Mulholland back. We'll wait and see. But for now, I will leave you for the moment as I will train my way towards the game against Crystal Palace, and if we get transfer bids, etc., I will show you along the way. 2 transfer bids, one for Rupert Alho from Werder Bremen that I am tempted to accept. 4.45 million, he's valued at 4.2. I dare say Rupert's time at the club may have come to an end. I will try and negotiate a little bit more to free up the money to bring in Mulholland. Rupert has been a fantastic servant to us over the years here at Barrow, but unfortunately he has reached his peak, and if we can cash in whilst there is some interest in him, then I think it's the right thing to do for his career. Oh, wow, they don't want to pay more than that 4.45, do they? I think it's the best thing to do for his career and for the club as well, to take the club forward and to take his career forward. They will accept £5 million, Werder Bremen. Rupert Alho may be on his way out. A bid from Atletico Talleres for Montero da Costa. Now, as things stand, Menezes isn't 16 years of age, so this would leave me with just the one goalkeeper for the time being, but 7.6 they've come up. But it won't be long at all until he turns 16, and we'll be able to call him up into the first team squad. 8.3, I'm happy with that. 8.3 we will accept. Montero da Costa was fantastic for us in League 1. Found himself out of the first team picture at Championship level. And we progress here towards our first Premier League game. As Kevin De Bruyne has been announced there, as you can see, as a Barcelona player. How big was that move? Not in the top 3 moves so far. Pedri to Dortmund, Alexander Isak to Barcelona, and Nkunku to AC Milan. Some big moves going through so far. Alho sold. Gone to Werder Bremen. Montero da Costa sold. A transfer bid for Paul Campbell, which is what we've been waiting for, which we will accept. And if he agrees that term, then I will go and sign Varling and bring him in at right back. And for the first time, we see the Premier League graphics in this Barrow save. Right, I'm now going to, rather than just rushing through my training, actually make sure that I select which players I want in every session. I haven't been doing that the whole time. I've just been simming my way through. But it's important now that we train the right way so that the first team are fully fit and the reserve players are sharp enough to fill in should we need them to. Confirmation that Paul Campbell has gone to Galatasaray, meaning that frees up the way. That frees up the way for Verling to come in. So we will now go and sign young Verling. Wage-wise, I have offered contracts at the end of the last season to a number of our first teamers, meaning that they have new higher wages and longer term deals than they were previously on. A loan bid for Mercado, which is very important for me. Him being that potential to be special player means that absolutely we need to get him a loan bid. However, Liverpool have shown an interest in Butu Tau for £10 million. Butu Tau stays, thank you. He is part of my rotation squad. This is not the save for realism where we move players on left, right and centre when big clubs come in for them. This is the story of these players at this club in our Youth Academy Road to Glory. Right, I'm going to go and have a quick Premier League press conference. Maybe I should change my manager's attire now that we're in the top flight. Perhaps a little bit more professional than a simple white round neck t-shirt. But we are ready for the fight to stay up in the division. It's up to Vidal Pereira as to whether he's good enough. I'm not sure that he is at this particular moment in time, but certainly Vermeulen has the ability to be a fantastic goalkeeper for us this season. With regards to what the board want from us, actually, to show you what our objectives are for this season, youth development wise, there's another 50% of games in the next season, one. Brand exposure wise, clean sheets in 7 home league matches. League matches, not just 7 games altogether. So to keep 7 clean sheets in 19 games in our first year in the Premier League, I don't think that's going to happen. We only kept 4 in the Championship last season. And they want me to sign 1 crucial first team player to midfield or forward. That we could do. Mulholland is the obvious. Financially, they want us to gain £108 million from shirt sales within a season. Barrow. £108 million in shirt sales. Yeah, I know. Avoid relegation is all the board want from us this season. Just stay up. Round of 16 in the FA Cup, and long term, within 2 seasons, they want us to have a mid-table finish. Now, we could do that this year, I believe. Let me know in the comment section down below, where do you think this team could finish this year in the Premier League? There is my starting 11 on the right-hand side as we line up here. Although, Mulholland may well be coming in. And also potentially another centre-back if we can find someone that's better than the young Spaniard currently at Leverkusen. We'll wait and see. For now, you can see on the left-hand side, Crystal Palace's starting lineup. Raul Jimenez up top alongside Maran Boadu. Gravenberch in the midfield alongside James Ward-Prowse, with Matthias Ginter at the back, and their new signing at left back, Ben Chilwell. So Bernardoni in goal. Hopefully will have his work cut out to keep Tudor and Salem quiet. They're 4-4-2. We're 4-4-2. For this season, I'll stay as a 4-4-2 side, I think, at Premier League level. It has served us well thus far. But if we find ourselves struggling, then maybe we'll think about changing the formation. But for now, it's tried, tested, and thus far successful 4-4-2 with these 11 players. Welcome to the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we can do. There's Hefte. Forward to Salem. Chelsea take the lead against local rivals Fulham. Tudor finds McMullen, but Martin takes it off him. Prowse always seems to be the man free in the middle to just pick up on the loose ball or find some space for someone to find him when the ball does drop free. And Crystal Palace come on the attack. That's fallen for Boado, but I'm pretty sure he was offside there. And even though Crystal Palace have got the ball in the back of the net, we won't find ourselves 1-0 down. But such is the devastation that they can cause on the counter-attack. I'm having to be very careful in my building of my moves that I don't play risky passes. Occasionally, McMullen has lost possession for me already in this game, which is not what he needs to be doing, considering Mulholland may well be coming back to the club. And it would be he that makes way for the young Irishman. Every time, McMullen. Oh, Salem, chance. No, off the bar. Unbelievable. Every time that Mulholland seems to... Sorry, every time that McMullen seems to break into the starting lineup, there's someone else that comes along and takes that spot from him. Tudor. Nice run by Mulholland, but I can't get it to him. Raul Jimenez and Ward-Prowse look to build a counter-attack for Myron Boadu, and this is getting a bit end-to-end already here in the Premier League. James Ward-Prowse can only fire his ball against Jenkins. Oh, referee wearing a colour similar to Crystal Palace's is quite frustrating, because I thought I was going to get that ball intercepted then when I realised it was the referee that was in the way, not a Crystal Palace man. Oh, Jenkins at centre-back is the one man that stands out as the main area of weakness in this side, overall rating-wise. But I haven't been able to find any suitable centre-back replacements for him, either with free agents or by scouting. A Premier League or even Championship level centre-back hasn't been forthcoming. Lucas Bull is Premier League level now though, 85 rated. Highest rated player we have at the club, has always been the highest rated player we have at the club, and as such, he scores the first goal at this level for us. It could have been either of our free scoring strikers or the man that's been with us since day one, already at the club when we arrived. Lucas Bull scores the first goal of the Premier League era for Barrow. To Costa, penalty elsewhere, penalty for Spurs. Not sure who they're playing actually, it was Chelsea-Tottenham. Oh, that was a strong challenge from the Crystal Palace man, and he might be in trouble here. If you're not going to book him, stop. Don't break up play. Tottenham take a 2-0 lead against Burnley with that penalty. Can we take a 2-0 lead against Crystal Palace from open play? Yo! Salem so close to opening his Premier League account, but a brilliant save by the keeper denies him. Was relatively easy for him to stop, but still needed stopping. Lazovic is up here with this header. That's fallen free and very calm at the back there, Crystal Palace, and they will get it away. A couple of chances for us to maybe extend our lead. Maybe the chance if he can keep that in. Mailer, which he's done well for Crystal Palace, to equalise. He's not got many options. They've offered themselves short here. Myron Boadu has Jimenez in the box. A little bit of quick footwork. Good block by Pumphrey. Still the danger remains for Crystal Palace. From Crystal Palace for our back line. Raul Jimenez. Oh, he's working the space well. Good block by Jenkins. Man, I'm mentioned earlier on that he's probably the weakest link in the side, putting in the biggest block and the biggest defensive effort so far. Victor Osimhen signs for Chelsea. Some big transfers going through, some big name players. But we're hoping to make the players in Barrow's shirts big name players by the end of this save. We've already a couple that would be considered pretty decent for this level, or the level that we find ourselves at, kind of bottom half of the Premier League. Like Lucas Bull, like Rodri Pumphrey. We just need the whole squad to be at that level, and we can start winning trophies at the very top of the game. 25 minutes to go. We might well be winning points at the top flight level of the game if we can hold on to what we've got. Rodri Pumphrey does really well. And Costa. And Tudor. Salem denied earlier on by the goalkeeper, but can he get an assist? Maybe. Can he get a goal? Maybe still. Tudor played in again. And heads wide this time. Jimenez out to Mailer. Great footwork to get it back to Raul Jimenez. And inside to James Ward-Prowse, trying to pull the strings in midfield, as he probably should be for England in real life, but not called up for Euro 2020. McMullen through to Damian Tudor. And I'm going to try and pull it back, actually, to McMullen, who was there racing on the edge of the box. But it's a great interception by the defender to stick a toe in. Now here come Crystal Palace. Ward-Prowse again. Raul Jimenez has the option wide left in Goncalves, and will look for him and find him well. Excellent first touch. It's not Pedro Goncalves, it's a different Goncalves. My apologies. Here's Raul Jimenez into, James Ward-Prowse across to Boadu. Big save by Vermeulen. And Crystal Palace score a very fortuitous equaliser. Vermeulen with a brilliant save. I just couldn't get to it quickly enough to get rid of it. Excellent ball over by James Ward-Prowse. Should he have hit that first time, potentially square and free to him. We just couldn't react quickly enough. Myron Boadu equalises for Crystal Palace, and we are denied, potentially, probably, an opening win at this level. But certainly we've showed signs that we can compete here with at least the side of Crystal Palace's calibre. Whether we can do that with the majority of teams at this level, I don't know, but we will wait and see. We had a winning start to life in the Championship with a strong victory over Blackburn Rovers. It's not to be a strong victory, or perhaps even a victory at all in the Premier League. It might not even be a point. Boadu, it's not to be a point. Such is life in the Premier League. Myron Boadu with 2 late goals to turn it around for Crystal Palace. The pass, the assist, just to chest it across. Unbelievable. Fantastic goal. Bernardoni made a big save from Salem earlier on, and it was his presence that put Salem off with a secondary effort that went wide with a header after that as well. But this is a really well worked goal, and it's James Ward-Prowse's assist. Again, it's just spectacular. He's made the difference for the side, the creativity of the man. Boadu with the clinical finish on this occasion. His second of the game, his second of the season, and our second conceded. First one unfortunate, that one just very well taken. We will lose our opening game at Premier League level when we thought for most of the game we might end up winning it. Crystal Palace 2, Barrow 1, and life in the Premier League is not going to be as easy as we potentially may, in previous FIFA series terms, thought it might well be. Hopefully, it actually is a bit of a struggle this first season in the Premier League. We shall wait and see how things turn out. Mercado has agreed his loan agreement. Good. Mercado will go to Atletico Huracan. Good. Potential to be special youngster, getting his move. Right. Interest in Mulholland. Okay. Sheffield United have been approached by Eibar for £52.4 million. Chisholm sold to Midland in Denmark. Or Norway. I can't remember whether they're Danish or Norwegian. I think they might be Norwegian, actually. No, they're Danish. I think they're Danish. I think my brain is just going Pione Sisto, Pione Sisto, Pione Sisto. I'm pretty sure he was at Midland and was Danish. And I think the club was too. Right, well, I have to call it here, because if we are to sign Mulholland, it has to happen now. It has to happen now. Montellano, unfortunately, isn't going to be good enough, really. I'm still thinking of going in for Figueiredo, but I think Mulholland might well be my main target. Watanabe, unfortunately, isn't going to be good enough either. Jumping of 69's not spectacular. 5'11". He could be decent at centre-back, but no better than anything we've got, really. So, I'll say no to Juranovic. Do we sign Mulholland, yes or no? I think I am going to go for Figueiredo if I've got enough money left, if you guys do decide that we should sign Mulholland. And interestingly, David Alvarez-Gogni has grown to 74 rated as well. So maybe we look to potentially bring him in too. Will money stretch far enough for all of those deals? Potentially. How much do we have in the kitty? £64.6 million. We could get all of those deals done, potentially, this window. Let me know. I will do as you wish. That's all for episode 1 of season 5. Rather brutal welcome to the Premier League from Crystal Palace, but a welcome nonetheless. And after all the fixtures have been played this first match day weekend, actually, we're 15th. I mean, that'll do for now, but hopefully we can move up from there. Everton next, not an easy fixture. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.